and never speechless. As you've heard, I teach middle school math at Schechter Day School. So with that in mind, I have a question for all of you. If two trains are traveling towards each other from two train stations 1,350 miles apart, and one is traveling 50 miles per hour and the other 40 miles per hour, in how many hours will they meet? Now, if I were sitting where you are right now, I'd be starting to figure that out. And I'm sure that some of you are doing just that, but I'm also sure that some of you are not thinking such good thoughts. Some of you may be thinking, I'm not really good at math because I had a bad second grade math teacher, or I couldn't understand fractions in 4th grade, or Algebra 1 did me in, or I just have no math ability. It's almost a badge of honor in our society to say that you're bad in math. So if you did think something along those lines, I have 3 words for you. And if it's been 10 or 20 or 30 or even more years since you had that bad experience in math, I'd like to say to you, here's the 3 words, it's time to get over it. I don't want any of my students to feel that they can't do math. I do think that math ability makes things easier, but I also believe that effort in math is critical. Everyone finds math confusing when a new topic is introduced. Einstein said, "Do not worry about your problems in mathematics. I assure you, mine are far greater." One rule in my class is you are not allowed to say you don't understand. You can say you don't understand yet. My goal for each and every student, whether they are gifted or not so gifted, is for them to become competent, confident math students. We say that a lot at Schechter Day School. There are a lot of challenges in teaching middle school math. Hormones are raging. I know it's hard to believe, but often a middle schooler's thoughts are not on schoolwork. I'm sure you've heard how important it is to make teaching relevant for our students, to help students find personal meaning in what they're learning. Well, even I have a hard time finding meaning for a 7th grader when learning how to solve multi-step algebra equations. Last Friday in 8th grade, we were doing some mental math with a bakery, buying bakery items, and one of my students, I thought this should be relevant, they all like to eat junk food, said, "Who in the world would buy 5 dozen muffins and 6 pies? What is wrong with these people?" Good point, not very relevant. Even my 5th and 6th graders who still want to please the teacher have the challenge of trying to figure out how to get organized so they can get their work done. Our 6th graders have 9 teachers, all with different expectations and assignments, and a 9.5-inch locker in which to hold just about everything they own. And I expect them to be able to find their homework? Fractions, decimals, percents, ratios, proportions, perimeter, area, volume, shapes, vocabulary, operations with integers, inequalities, solving multi-step equations, slope, y-intercept, permutations, combinations, the Pythagorean theorem. How do I get all this content into those middle school brains? I would love to just be able to open their heads and pour the knowledge in, but I just haven't found that latch. Somehow I need to help them make sense of what they're doing, to teach them why processes work, to help them apply skills to new situations, and to make them independent thinkers. We use the Socratic method a lot in my classes. What's the question? What do you know? What are you missing? Don't get me wrong, there are times when figuring things out is frustrating for everyone. In the short run, we could get a lot more done if I just told them what to do. And at times I'm asked to do just that. They say to me, "Just tell me how to do it." My answer to that is, I could tell you exactly what to do, but then I'd have to follow you around for the rest of your lives, telling you what to do, and I have other things I plan on doing. Parker Palmer, who is an educator and a philosopher, wrote that if you think about the teachers you remember that truly made a difference in your life, they all have one thing in common. He said, all of them are people who have some sort of connective capacity, who connect themselves to their students to each other, and everyone to the subject being taught. That's what we try to do in room 24. We all help each other learn. We all rejoice in the successes of others, of each other. The first time someone can solve a multi-step equation, finally figuring out how to do compounded monthly interest, or knowing when those trains will finally smash into each other. I hope that every student knows how much I care about them. I think they do. I believe that each and every one has the ability to succeed in whatever math they choose to do with some effort. I know they have great things ahead of them, and that my class this year is just one small step for them. I need to make sure that it's as good as it can get in room 24. I'm always looking for some new way to help them make the connections, to dust out the cobwebs, and to help stretch their brains. Professional development is critical to better and better teaching. That is why I really appreciate this award. And I really want to thank the Steiger family and the JECC for providing the grant, for Maury Greenberg for being so helpful throughout the process, Mel Wasserman for hiring me many years ago, although I had no middle school experience, Rabbi Rogerson for pushing me to apply for this award, and keeping me on the staff, although I know at times it might be easier for him if I weren't. Jeff Borman for trusting me to DTRT, which is do the right thing. Susan Siegel for being a confidant and friend. Our staff at Gross Schechter for being helpful, caring, and fun colleagues. The parents of my students who love and support their children. My students who run into my class every day willing to learn and do whatever I ask them to do. And for my husband Steve, who came north from Florida to be with me this weekend, and who listens to me talk about teaching and the students long after I know he'd rather be anyplace else. Thank